as you know, polarity is three-dimensional reality. The more we are in the material world, the more we are in the separation, in the this or that, night and day, yin and yang. And so this polarization is what happens when we're stuck here. And the new earth is the fifth dimensional expression. And when we can go up a little bit and move beyond the third dimensional space into the fourth dimension, what happens in that beginning shift of going from the third dimension to the fourth dimension is that we move from a space-time continuum where we are now, where time is linear, and when we go from one place to another, there's a delay in time, which is linear, and we have this experience or this perception that things happened in the past and in the future, and some things are happening in the now. We move into the fourth dimension, which is time. And when we move into that fourth dimension and we have the time space continuum instead of the space time continuum, we enter into the possibility of non-duality and unity. And the force that takes us there is love. And the force that takes us there is the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, of the fact that we are one, that we are more similar than we are different, and that we're all in this together. And that when we get together and we join our intentions, we can truly create something. And the invitation is to get together and create, continue to vision what is possible for humanity and what is possible starting with our lives. Because another thing I have learned is that when we go for a utopian goal and we say, oh, let's go for helping humanity, but we are not truly individually in there, it's hard for us to make the leap in terms of feeling it really powerfully. It's more of intellectualization, that's a big word, of the energy. And so truly, we start with us. As we transform our lives, as we begin to experience the magnetism of non-delay from what we want to manifest and what manifests, which is when we're in the fourth dimension, that's what that happens, because there is no delay, there is no linear time. And so we're more able to put something out there and immediately magnetize it into our lives. The more we begin to work with the universe and with the energy of oneness, the more our lives begin to transform in powerful ways. And as our lives begin to transform further and further in powerful ways, we beam that naturally without having to do anything, just being who you are to the world, to our families, to our communities. And it's a ripple effect that has no end. And that's why I believe that we have a big dream of the new earth for all of humanity, but the way to do it is individually, us here today, gathering for what we intend for ourselves and holding that space for each other, and knowing that we ourselves want to be living in that world. When we let go of expectations, we really allow the flow to flow, because then the expectation and that control is a fear mechanism. And so when we can really work on that fear, what that means is we're really in trust. We can trust, right? What is the opposite of fear? Is that trust, right? So when we trust, then there's an expansion. And the other thing that happens is that creator, the universe, the source, mother, father source, is so much magnificent and can play in the field of infinite possibilities, bringing us things that we can't even fathom. So when we let go, then we are opening up to receive so much more than what our limited minds can even ideate. The other day, this client I'm working with one-on-one was telling me how it's difficult for her to realize how messy this journey is, and how she wishes that it were simpler. And as you work through an issue, then everything is fine. and, and I'm like smiling with love, right? Because it's not, and because we are these complex beings that bring all these parts to the party. And it is so beautiful that Yes, truly, there is such profound healing in the self-love aspect when we can integrate all those aspects of us that we have denied or had denied, and we place them in that shadow so we don't see them. And we cannot be fully complete and be unless we grab these parts of us and we bring them and we integrate them with all of the other parts that we accepted. And when that mechanism happens, what ends up happening is that there's so much more richness to the light of the part that was in the shadow, and it's so powerful to do that. And whenever we're talking about portals and that are of numerological energy portals, are truly doors. So you can leave something behind the door and pass other things through the door. So these concepts of leaving something behind is beautiful because you can use that change of frequency to truly release what no longer matches the frequency of the new that you are co-creating. You can, when you're aware of all these energies that are happening in terms of the cycle of the natural cycle of Pachamama, of the earth as a being that is moving through space and is interacting with all these other cosmic giants, when you can see what's happening to you as this is happening, you can feel the buildup and you can use that buildup like a good surfer that surfs the wave. And what I have noticed, for those of you who know what the Schumann resonance is, and for those of you who don't, let me just tell you, it's known as the heartbeat of the earth because it's Schumann invented this machine that can measure the frequencies on earth, which is the sum of everything sentient beings and energies of the earth. So all of humans thinking and feeling, the moon, the full moon, the new moon, the animals, the waters, the sun explosions, all of that's happening creates this sound that our human ears may not hear, but this machine is able to put in a graph because there are sounds that the machine is able to calibrate to. And we are seeing these extreme blasts of energy that are not what's known as homeostasis. Homeostasis is when the earth is kind of going, and historically, we would have these blasts once a month, if at all. We would mostly be in homeostasis. And this year 2024, we're having these blasts. One day yes, one day no, 3 days yes, one day no. And for empaths that are aware of what's happening, we feel it. We can know. We realize that we are exhausted, that no matter what we do, we feel wonky. And for non-empaths, we're still feeling it. I have a lot of friends who don't know necessarily about energy, and they're telling me how they're confused. They don't know what's happening. Why is it that things are not working? And it's because it's affecting us all. It doesn't matter if we know what's happening or we try to understand it or not, it's still happening. And so when we are going through times like these that are so high energy, and I don't mean high as in high vibe, I mean the energies are so, the volume is so high of the energies, that's what I mean to say. If we're not aware of what's going on, and if we don't have the good fortune of harnessing these energies and using them for our benefit, and like allowing the energies to take us like a big current of a river, then we may actually break and fall, like when we fall under a wave in the ocean and the wave just like takes us all over the place. And so to be aware of what's going on and to be intentional, especially at this time, is already what puts us one step ahead. It's a time that is stretching us and requires a lot from us, and not everybody has the strength or is passing through a time where they can have like extra energy to really support all of this. So we can hold all of those that need a little bit of love to be supported in their path. Lots of love and gratitude for you.